Hey there. Boundaries. What are they? Why should you set them? And why are they such a challenge? I'm Teresa, and welcome to my channel. Here I provide insight and wisdom about personal development and well-being to inspire, encourage, and empower you to live your best life. Let's talk about boundaries. Let's define what boundaries are. Boundaries are simply those parameters, those limits that we set for ourselves. It's like the line you draw in the sand and you're like, don't cross this line. That is your boundary that you implement for various aspects of your life. Relationships, work, personal. If you're involved in organizations, you create that barrier to protect yourself. Setting boundaries can be easier said than done. So let's talk about why it is so challenging for some of us to actually set boundaries. One reason is fear of rejection. We feel that if we set boundaries that we're going to make others mad or cause some type of conflict. Another reason is guilt and obligation. You feel bad and you struggle with feelings of guilt when you are asserting yourself to create boundaries when you have in the past been the person who's there for everyone, who's been the giver, who your whole life you served others, everyone but yourself. Why do we need boundaries? You need a boundary to protect your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial well-being. Boundaries are crucial for maintaining your overall well-being. It's unfortunate, but many people have become used to others' needs coming before theirs, and they don't even realize what they need. Is that you? Well, let's learn to create a boundary, or two, or three. Creating boundaries for yourself is crucial for your overall well-being, for protecting your time, your energy, your peace. So let me give you 4 tips on how to create a boundary, or 2, or 3, or 4. First, there has to be some self-reflection. You have to determine what are your needs, what are your values, what are your wants, what is it that you desire, what matters most to you. Once you've assessed this, it will guide you into the boundaries that you need for the people, the place, whatever that looks like. But the first step is to really identify what your needs are. Step 2 is to communicate clearly. It is necessary that you let others know what your boundary is. If you are not diligent in communicating, you will cause some misunderstandings. The third tip, which is very challenging for many, is to learn to say no. Saying no is not a bad thing. It is a powerful thing. Also, no is a complete sentence. I know if this is new to you with saying no, it may be challenging at first, but like with anything else, just practice. The point of step 1 of identifying your needs, your desires, what is it that you want, will help you with saying no. If you're being asked to do something, to go somewhere, whatever that looks like, and it doesn't align with your desires that you have already identified, say no. Because remember, you are protecting your peace, you are protecting your overall well-being. And the last tip is consistency. You must be consistent in enforcing your boundaries. When you are consistent, this helps others really get it. They understand what your non-negotiables are, what your limits are. And of course, it may take a while for them to adhere to it, but be consistent with it. Let me give you an example of what creating a boundary is and what it is not. I'm going to use the example of 2 friends. So let's say my friend and I, we talk on the phone each night. They call me about 10 or 11 and I answer. Then once I get to talking and we stay on the phone about an hour or so, I wake up. You know, sometimes your body will wake up And then throughout the night, I can't sleep because I missed that zone where I needed to go to sleep. So I decide through my self-reflection, my overall well-being is I'm tired. When I'm tired, I'm grumpy. It impacts my behaviors throughout the day, my attitude, how I speak to others, all of that. I decide I'm not taking any calls after 9 o'clock. I want to wind down and go to bed in ease. Okay? Self-reflection. I need to go to bed. I've decided that. Step 2, communicate. I let my friends know, those who call me, hey, I need to go to bed earlier. Don't call me after 9. So I have self-reflected and I understand that I want to go to bed earlier for my overall well-being so I can have rest, because when I don't have the appropriate amount of rest, I'm grumpy, my days are long, all of that. Step 2, communicate it. So now let my friends know I'm not talking on the phone after 9 o'clock, y'all. I got to get some rest. You've done that part. So now someone calls you at 9:30. You have decided that you're not going to have phone calls, but someone calls you and you answer it. You talk to them. The whole process is the same. You're tired the next day. You're late for a meeting, all kinds of stuff. And then you're mad at your friend because they didn't adhere to your boundary. Nope, that's not how that works. A boundary is what you create for you. You don't create boundaries for someone else. The boundary is you. So you answered the phone after 9 o'clock. So that's on you. You created the boundary based on what you have assessed, your needs, you communicated it. So now you did not adhere to your boundary, not your friend. So let's continue. Let's say the friend continues to call and you're not answering the phone because you're going to bed. Your overall well-being, you're taking care of you, drinking your water, resting. And so you guys meet for lunch. Friend says, how come you don't answer? I've been calling you. And you will say, I'm not able to. That is your form of no in this scenario. And then consistency. Every time it happens, don't answer that phone. I want to give you an example of work. So in our workplace, when you go on PTO or you're out of the office, they say don't answer calls, don't reach out to clients, things like that. Don't check your email. However, whenever anyone is out, they will say, I am out from this date to that date, but I'm checking emails sparingly. Or if it's an emergency, text me. I have a boundary. When I am on PTO, I am on PTO. I do nothing that is related to work. And so my out of office message says, I am out this date to this date. I have absolutely no communication methods available. That's my boundary. So I want you to think about what are those areas that you need to work on that are best for you. Remember, boundaries are for your overall well-being. Give yourself permission to prioritize your well-being. In the comments, let me know what boundaries you need to create for yourself. If you found this helpful, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you. See you next time.